Imbolc for safety and new beginnings. The threshold, where the body starts to believe again. Imbolc arrives like a quiet yes in the middle of winter. Not a loud yes, not a victory lap yes, but the kind that makes you stop and listen. The days are still cold. The trees still look undecided. Life has not turned around yet in any dramatic way. And that is exactly why this season matters for people who are trying to heal, rebuild, or simply make it through. Imbolc speaks the language of thresholds. It blesses the in-between. In the old seasonal imagination, Imbolc sits between the deep darkness of midwinter and the first obvious signs of spring. It is traditionally connected to early lambing and the return of milk, to seeds in storage and the first subtle movement under frozen ground. It's the kind of holy day that doesn't ask you to pretend you're already blooming. It asks you to notice what is still alive, even when it's small. That is a spiritual skill, and it is also a nervous system skill. When we talk about safety, many people assume we mean comfort, or the absence of conflict, or a life where nothing bad happens. But the lived experience of safety is simpler and more intimate than that. Safety is the sense your body has when it believes in this moment that you can breathe without bracing, that you can soften your jaw without paying for it later, that you can unclench your stomach and nothing terrible will happen if you stop holding everything together. Safety is not a concept, it is a felt condition. This is why the language of the body matters so much here. Trauma, chronic stress, grief, and long seasons of uncertainty train the nervous system to stay on guard. And the nervous system does not respond to pep talks the way the mind does. You can tell yourself all day, "I'm fine," and your body might still act like danger is around the corner. That isn't weakness. It's biology doing its job based on what it has learned. Stephen Porges, in the polyvagal theory, describes how our nervous system constantly scans for cues of safety or threat in a process that often happens outside conscious awareness. Your body is always asking, am I safe enough to connect? Safe enough to rest? Safe enough to feel? If the answer is no, even quietly, the system leans toward protection, fight, flight, shutdown, numbness, or a busy, anxious kind of functioning that never really lands. Imbolc offers a different kind of cue. It says, look, the light is returning, not as a command, but as a truth you can test with your own eyes. The days are longer by minutes than more. A candle in a dim room changes the room. A warm drink changes the body. A single kind sentence changes the inner weather. You don't have to force your way into hope. You can let hope behave the way hope actually behaves in real life. Slow, cautious, and honest. And there is something else Imbolc teaches that is especially relevant for people whose bodies don't feel safe. New beginnings do not require perfect conditions. They require enough safety to start. A seed does not demand summer before it agrees to exist. It waits for conditions that are adequate, not ideal. Imbolc invites you into that same wisdom. A new beginning can be small enough to be real. If you grew up in a faith tradition, you may already recognize this spiritual rhythm. Many religious paths have a holy respect for the small beginning. A lamp lit in darkness. A prayer whispered when certainty is gone. A first step taken without guarantees. Even when the stories differ, the pattern repeats. The sacred often arrives as a signal, not a finished outcome. So when we speak of Imbolc for safety and new beginnings, we're not talking about a trendy seasonal aesthetic. We're talking about a practical spiritual technology, one that helps the body receive safety in manageable doses and helps the soul honor beginnings that are tender instead of theatrical. That matters because forced positivity often backfires. If your system is already strained, be grateful can feel like a demand to perform wellness. Imbolc does not demand performance. It offers a lantern and says, you can take the next 10 feet. Brigid's flame and the gentle architecture of protection. Imbolc is historically linked with Brigid, often understood as a figure of fire, poetry, healing, craft, and home protection. In later Christian expressions, this becomes Saint Brigid, and in folk practice, these layers sometimes live side by side rather than in conflict. That blend is one reason Imbolc can be meaningful for modern people who are spiritually curious but cautious. It is a season that has held multiple languages for the sacred, without insisting that only one is allowed. Brigid's symbolism matters because it is not only light, it is hearth light, not spotlight, not stage light. Hearth light is protective, domestic, steady. It's the kind of flame that doesn't shout. It keeps a home livable. It makes soup possible. It keeps hands warm long enough to do the next necessary thing. The hearth is not flashy, but it is faithful. It's a form of devotion that doesn't require you to be at your best. It only asks that you return. And notice what protection looks like in this imagery. Protection is not aggression. It is not domination. It is not a spiritual version of I dare you. It is warmth, boundary, steadiness, and presence. Protection is a circle of care. Protection is what allows life to unfold without constantly being interrupted by alarm. In modern nervous system language, protection is often misunderstood too. People hear regulation and think it means being calm all the time. But regulation is not a personality trait. It is your capacity to move through activation and return. Deb Dana, in the polyvagal theory in therapy, explains this in plain terms. Regulation is about finding the pathways back to safety and connection again and again in ways your body can actually learn. You don't train safety by scolding yourself. You train safety by giving your system repeatable experiences of enough okayness. Imbolc's practices, light, warmth, cleansing, blessing, fit this perfectly because they are simple and sensory. They speak directly to the parts of you that don't speak in words. When you light a candle with intention, you are not manifesting in a magical way that bypasses reality. You are giving your nervous system a cue. We are here. We can see. There is warmth. There is continuity. We are not alone with the dark. That might sound small, but small is how safety is built. This is also why Imbolc is such a powerful time to revisit what you mean by home. Home is not only a building. Home is an inner condition, the place in you that can host your own life without constant eviction. Many people have a home that looks stable on the outside while the inside feels like a perpetual emergency. Others have a chaotic outer life, but have learned to create an inner hearth, a steady practice, a few safe relationships, a sense of sacred companionship. If you have faith wounds, religious trauma, or simply exhaustion from people who used God language to pressure you, Imbolc can feel like an alternative doorway. It does not require you to explain yourself. It does not force you into a particular theological argument. It offers a practice of reverence that is grounded in care. That's why it can pair well with the spiritual insight found across traditions, that true holiness produces more compassion, more steadiness, more humility, and more capacity to love, not more fear. When you work with Bridget as the archetype, whether you understand her as goddess, saint, symbol, or poetic presence, you are choosing a form of spiritual authority that does not threaten you into transformation. It invites you. It says, bring your frayed edges, bring your tired mind, bring the part of you that wants a new beginning but doesn't trust it yet. Let the flame be small. Let it be enough. This is also a season for the kind of protection that looks like discernment. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Not every demand deserves a response. Not every crisis deserves your nervous system. And this is where the symbolism of the threshold becomes practical. Thresholds are boundaries. A doorway is not a wall, but it is not wide open either. It is a place where you choose what enters and what does not. Imbolc, in that sense, is not just about lighting candles. It is about reclaiming the right to curate your inner environment. The flame becomes a reminder. I can protect my attention. I can protect my body. I can protect my capacity to love without collapsing into everyone else's chaos. That is not selfish. That is stewardship. That is holy. The body's version of prayer, how safety is learned, not forced. If you've ever tried to think your way into feeling safe, you already know how frustrating it can be. You can understand the right ideas and still feel anxious. You can have supportive people and still brace. You can be told you're safe and still scan for threat. This is because safety is not primarily a belief. Safety is a learning process in the nervous system. One of the most helpful shifts you can make, especially in a spiritually oriented life, is to stop treating the body like a stubborn child that needs to be talked into cooperation. Your body is not your enemy. It is a historian. It records patterns. It remembers what happened when you relaxed before. It remembers what happened when you trusted before. If relaxation once preceded betrayal, your body may interpret softening as risky. That is not irrational. That is protective intelligence. Lisa Feldman Barrett, in How Emotions Are Made, emphasizes that emotions are not just reactions that happen to you, they are constructed based on past experience and present cues. In a simple sense, the brain is always predicting, what is this like? What should I prepare for? If your system predicts danger, it prepares. If it predicts safety, it opens. So the question becomes, how do you give your body enough consistent cues that it starts predicting safety again? Imbolc provides a seasonal container for that retraining because the practices are repetitive and sensory. You do not need to feel spiritual to do them. You do not need to be in a perfect mood. You simply need to be willing to offer your system a few experiences that contradict the story of constant threat. This is where the humble tools matter. Warmth, light, slow breath, gentle sound, steady posture. In polyvagal-informed practice, cues of safety include things like a soft gaze, a warm tone of voice, a sense of rhythm, and safe connection. Your system reads these cues in milliseconds. That's why a harsh tone can spike your stress even when the words are fine. And it's why a kind, steady voice can bring you back even when you're overwhelmed. From a faith perspective, you can think of this as a kind of embodied prayer. Not prayer as performance, but prayer as orientation. A way of turning toward what is steady. A way of returning to the hearth. In many traditions, the sacred is not only accessed through ideas, but through practice, through bowing, chanting, kneeling, singing, candlelighting, fasting, feasting, walking, resting. These actions are not arbitrary. They engage the body, and the body learns through engagement. So consider this. When you light a candle at Imbolc, you are not merely symbolizing hope. You are practicing a nervous system truth. I can create a cue of safety right now. You are teaching your system that you don't have to wait for the world to be perfect in order to feel a moment of okayness. And those moments matter. They are the building blocks of a larger change. A very common fear arises here. If I soften, I'll lose my edge. I'll become passive. I'll stop protecting myself. But safety is not the same as complacency. Safety does not mean you stop noticing reality. It means you can respond with more choice. When the nervous system is stuck in threat, you tend to react quickly and sometimes destructively. When the system feels safer, you can choose timing, tone, and direction. Safety gives you back your agency. This is one reason compassion practices are often paired with regulation. Kristen Neff, in Self-Compassion, describes self-compassion not as self-indulgence, but as the capacity to treat yourself with the same care you would offer someone you love. When your inner voice is harsh, the nervous system often reads it as threat. If your mind is constantly yelling, your body stays braced. So even a small shift in inner tone is not merely psychological, it's physiological. Tara Brach, in Radical Acceptance, offers a simple framework that many people find accessible. Noticing what's here without shaming yourself for it, and then offering kindness to the part that's struggling. You don't have to agree with your fear to be kind to it. You can say, in essence, I see that you're here. You're trying to protect me. Thank you. You can rest a little now. That kind of inner language can function like a warm hand on the shoulder of the nervous system. If you're coming from a Christian background, you might recognize a parallel. The spiritual move from condemnation to grace, from try harder to return, from fear-driven obedience to love-driven practice. Regardless of the tradition, the emotional and physiological pattern is similar. Shame tightens, kindness softens, shame isolates, kindness reconnects. Shame makes the body vigilant. Kindness gives the body a cue that it can exhale. Imbolc is not asking you to solve your whole life in a weekend. It is asking you to practice return, to create small, consistent signals that you are not abandoned, that you are not doomed, that beginnings are possible, that safety can be grown like a flame, protected from wind, fed carefully, allowed to become steady over time. A practical Imbolc ritual for safety and a beginning you can actually keep. A ritual is not a magic trick. It is a focused way of telling the truth with your whole self, mind, body, attention, and spirit. A ritual is a way of making meaning tangible. And if you're someone who has been disappointed by big promises, spiritual or otherwise, then you deserve rituals that are honest. Imbolc is ideal for that because it honors beginnings that are small, real, and sustainable. Start by choosing a time when you can be unhurried, even if it's only 30 minutes. If you cannot find 30 minutes, choose 10. Imbolc does not punish you for being human. Gather a candle if you have one. If you don't, any small light will do. The point is not the object, it's the cue. Consider bringing warmth, a blanket, a mug of tea, warm water for your hands. The body receives safety through warmth more easily than through philosophy. Before you light the candle, take a moment to let your environment become a little kinder. You might clear a small surface. You might open a window for 1 minute to change the air. You might wash your hands slowly and intentionally, as if you are telling your nervous system, "We are transitioning now." This is not about being fancy. It is about signaling a shift. When you light the candle, don't rush into dramatic declarations. Let yourself simply look at the flame. Let your eyes soften. Let your shoulders drop a fraction. If you notice resistance, if a voice inside says, "This is silly," or "This won't help," don't fight it. Just notice it as a protective part. Then return your attention to the flame. The practice is not perfect focus. The practice is return. Now speak to your life in the language of safety, not the language of achievement. Safety language sounds like, "May I be protected from what drains my spirit." It sounds like, "May my home be a place where my body can rest." It sounds like, "May I have the courage to set boundaries without guilt." It sounds like, "May I be guided toward what is steady and nourishing." If you are comfortable with Bridget as a presence, you can speak to her directly in your own words. You can ask for protection over your home, your body, your mind, your relationships, your work. You can ask for the kind of new beginning that doesn't collapse under pressure. If saint language feels safer than goddess language for you, follow that. If archetype language feels safest, follow that. What matters is sincerity, not labels. After you name safety, name one beginning. Only one. Not a dramatic overhaul, not a list of resolutions. One beginning that you can keep even when you're tired. It might be as simple as beginning to speak to yourself more kindly when you wake up. It might be beginning to take a short walk in daylight. It might be beginning to turn your phone off 10 minutes earlier at night so your nervous system gets a cleaner landing. It might be beginning to stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided not to understand. It might be beginning to practice one breath of return when you notice yourself bracing. Let this beginning be small enough that it feels almost too simple. That's the point. The nervous system learns through repetition, not intensity. A beginning you can keep becomes a new pattern. A new pattern becomes a new prediction. A new prediction becomes a new felt sense. Over time, the body begins to believe. To seal the ritual, bring your hands to your heart or to your belly, wherever feels more grounding. Feel the warmth of your own touch. You are giving your system a cue. I am here with you. If you want words, keep them simple. Something like, safety first, then the next step. Or, small flame, steady return. Speak it like a blessing, not like a demand. If you want a cleansing element, keep it gentle. You might tidy one small corner of your space as a symbolic clearing. You might wash one dish slowly as a form of devotion. You might sweep your floor while imagining you are removing old fear that doesn't belong to this new season. Let the cleansing be kind, not punishing. You are not scrubbing yourself into worthiness. You are making room for breath. When you extinguish the candle, do it with care. Notice if your body tenses at ending. Many people carry old grief around endings, even tiny ones. Teach your system that endings can be safe too. You can say, "The flame returns when I return." The point is not to cling to the moment. The point is to learn that you can come back. And then, this matters, take your beginning into the next day in a way that is concrete. Not in a long plan, but in a small, repeated act. Imbolc is a threshold, and thresholds become real when you step through them. Keeping the flame. How new beginnings become a way of life. A beginning is not proven by your excitement. It is proven by your relationship with the days when you don't feel like it. This is where many spiritual people get discouraged. They have a beautiful moment, an altar, a candle, a prayer, a sensation of closeness with the sacred. And then life resumes, and the old patterns return. The temptation is to interpret that as failure. But from a nervous system perspective, that return of the old is not failure. It is the system doing what it knows. Your work is not to shame it. Your work is to keep offering a new cue. Think of it as teaching a frightened animal that your hand is safe. You don't teach that with one dramatic gesture. You teach it by being consistent, by moving slowly, by letting trust build at the pace trust builds. Your nervous system is not less deserving than a frightened animal. It deserves patience. This is also where faith can be reimagined in a healthier way. Faith does not have to mean certainty. Faith can mean fidelity. It can mean returning to what is true even when you don't feel it. It can mean lighting a candle even when your mind is full of doubts. It can mean speaking a blessing over your body even when your body is tense. It can mean choosing one small beginning again today, because yesterday's beginning was not a one-time event. It was a doorway into a different relationship with yourself. There is a reason so many traditions use daily practices. It's not because the sacred is stingy and demands constant attention. It's because humans learn through rhythm. We become what we practice. If you want safety to become more available, you practice cues of safety. If you want beginnings to become trustworthy, you practice beginnings that are small enough to keep. This is where the new beginning theme deepens into something more mature. A new beginning is not always a new project. Sometimes a new beginning is a new boundary. Sometimes it's a new way of speaking. Sometimes it's a new relationship with your own nervous system. Sometimes it's the beginning of letting your body be a partner instead of a problem. And perhaps the deepest beginning of all is this: the beginning of believing that you do not have to earn your right to feel safe. You can build safety, yes. You can practice it, yes. You can protect it, yes. But you do not have to earn your basic dignity. You do not have to be perfect to deserve a steady flame. You are allowed to begin because you are alive. Imbolc, in its quiet wisdom, refuses to humiliate you for still being in winter. It blesses you in winter. It says the return of light is already happening, even if your life is still cold in places. It says protection is not only a shield, it is a hearth. It says a beginning does not have to be big to be real. It only has to be honest enough to keep. So let this land in your body as a permission. Permission to start small. Permission to be consistent instead of intense. Permission to build safety as a practice rather than a mood. Let Imbolc be the moment you stop demanding that your nervous system behave like a machine. Let it be the moment you treat your life like something sacred that deserves warmth.